Boudica was queen of the ancient British Iceni tribe, who led an uprising against the Roman Empire around 60 AD. Let's find out what TV and movies we have to tell her story. First up, we have Warrior Queen. This is a made-for-TV movie from 2003. It begins with Boudica as queen of the Iceni along with her husband, meeting with the Romans, and ends with Boudica's death. Script. This movie tries to squeeze a lot into a small amount of time, with the majority of it spent on the lead-up to Boudica's rebellion against Rome. The major focus is on her relationships with her husband, her daughters, and her lover while debating whether or not to fight against the Romans. It's more of an emotional journey than an action-packed one. It's stressed multiple times the difference between the Celts fighting for their people and their land versus the Roman soldiers fighting for, as one soldier put it, professional pride. There is also one druid who can do magic. In the background, there is a little time with the Roman Emperor Claudius and then a loony version of Emperor Nero. Acting. Boudica is played by Alex Kingston, who is my favorite actress in the role. She is definitely convincing as a tough warrior lady. This was also notably Emily Blunt's very first role on the screen as Boudica's daughter Isolde. Overall, a really good cast. Sex and nudity, violence and gore. As you may already know from history, there are some very non-consensual things that happen to Boudica's daughters. It's not super graphic, but the scene is intense, and we still see part of it and hear it, which could be very triggering for some. A few skirmishes and some battles, but nothing ever feels particularly epic. Some fake-looking severed heads are tossed around a few times. Honestly, the best part of the fights was watching the brave and adorable little warrior kids do their part. I was really cheering for those little guys. 98 minutes long, not rated, but I would say adult only for sexual violence. Next, we're looking at Boudica, Rise of the Warrior Queen. This is a movie from 2019. It begins in 47 AD when Boudica is a teenager and ends with her marriage. Script. This is a completely fictional origin story for Boudica. Basically, her parents don't see eye to eye, there is a lot of mother-daughter conflict, and Boudica learns not to be a naive teenager who trusts anyone with a pretty face. It was really slow with a lot of repetitive dialogue, and some of the plot points didn't make any practical sense. The most I can say about it is the scenery is very pretty. Acting. Boudica is played by Ella Peel. I don't want to be mean, but I'm pretty sure a week from now I'm not going to remember this movie very well or remember faces. In the actor's defense, this could be completely due to the boring script. Sex and nudity, violence and gore. There is a young, hard-eyes romance, but nothing sexual or graphic. There is fighting and some bloody violence, but no big battles of any kind. 82 minutes long, rated 18+ for violence. Lastly, Boudica, Queen of War. This movie came out in 2023 and takes place from when Boudica is queen of the Iceni along with her husband, and they are already occupied by the Romans. It ends with Boudica's death. Script. This is the Boudica story if she hadn't started out as a warrior. Instead, she's a wife and mother who is drawn into a revenge plot due to myth and legend, which completely transforms her character. They also dropped in a ton of magical Arthurian elements. This is the only option where we see Boudica actually gathering all the tribes together to fight, and the majority of the movie is focused on the battles. Super small cameo appearances of Emperor Nero. Acting. Boudica is played by Olga Kurylenko, who I hope I said that right, who I thought was fantastic. Really, the majority of the cast was awesome and looked great, but straining under weak dialogue. Sex and nudity, violence and gore. Have you been waiting this whole time to find out which of these options has the most giant, epic battles, blood spraying everywhere, and guts being pulled out? This is it. The movie starts with a giant, bloody battle and ends with one. I got a lot of crochet done since so much of the movie was exactly that. No sex or nudity. It's 101 minutes long, rated 18+ for violence. Final opinion. Warrior Queen. I would say this is our most emotionally driven option and the closest historical adaptation from what I've learned from documentaries. This would be my recommendation for you unless your number one priority is violence and gore. Boudica, Rise of the Warrior Queen. If you are here because you want to watch anything and everything Boudica related, then yeah, you might enjoy this. However, if you're only interested in something based on actual history or epic battles, this is a skip. Boudica, Queen of War. This is your go-to if you're really here for the action-packed, gory sword fights and maybe just want to see a tough woman fight with a mystical Excalibur knockoff. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please check out my playlist for more movie and TV comparisons and how to watch historical media in chronological order. Happy watching!